Hello, in this video, we're going to see an example of combining an AND gate with an OR gate, and which has got three inputs. In the previous example, we saw an example which had only two inputs, but this is also an important example where you've got three inputs. So what is happening here is the inputs A and B are going into the AND gate, and input C is going into the OR gate. And the output of A and B through the AND gate will be the another input for the OR gate, and finally will be the output. So what we need to understand here is what is happening first is A and B go into the AND gate. So the output for that will be A dot B. So in the expression, the first thing you put is A dot B. So the D is actually equal to A dot B. So this line here is A dot B, which is the input for the OR gate. And C is going here as an input, second input, which is going into the OR gate. Now, if you look at the expression for Boolean algebra, AND is dot and OR is plus. So A dot B will be added to C. So the final output will be A dot B plus C. And this is how you make the expression for the combined logic gate. Now the main thing for this question will be to create a truth table, which will look something like this. So let's see how to build that. Okay, step one to notice is how many inputs does the problem have? So the problem has three inputs, A, B, and C. So step one should be to make three columns, A, B, and C, which are your inputs. And remember, the inputs can either be 0 or 1. But since there are three inputs here, we have to list all possible combinations of zeros and ones. So it means all the three inputs can be 0. The first two can be 0, and the third one can be 1. The first and the third can be 0, and the second one can be 1. So basically, we list all possible combinations of the input. And so we get a total of 8 rows. So make a note, if there are three inputs, you should have a total of 8 rows in it as your inputs. Okay, now what is happening next is first A and B are going into the AND gate. So the output here is A dot B. So the next output should be made into the next column. So the D here is the next column. And the output here is based on the AND truth table. So if you remember, AND is true only when both are true. So for example, 0 means false, so 0, 0 is 0, 0, 0 is 0, 0, 1 is 0. Remember, when both are 1, only in that case it'll be 1. So 1 dot 1 is 1, 1 dot 1 is 1. Every other time it'll be 0. So that's the output coming along this line. And that output is getting added to the C output input. So over here, it'll be A dot B plus C. So it means you do this column, A dot B plus C. And remember, for the OR table, it is true all the time, except when both are zeros. So even if any one of them is 1, it'll be 1. So you do 0 plus 0, which is 0. 0 plus 1 is 1. 0 plus 0 is 0. 0 plus 1 is 1. Remember, if any one of them is 1, the output is 1 because we are doing plus, which is the OR gate. So using that, we get the final output of this, because 0 plus 1, 1, 0 plus 0, 0, 0 plus 0, 0, and 1 every other time. So that means that in this circuit, most of the times it will be 1, and only 3 times it will be 0. This is how you make the truth table for a logic gate or a circuit which has got combined logic gates. Okay, any questions, put below and I'll try and answer.